This week, we step inside a piece of Portuguese history. A 400-year-old abandoned palace that has stood silent for over 4 decades. From the outside, the palace looked stunning, similar to many amazing places we had explored before in Portugal, but nothing could have prepared us for what we found inside. The moment we stepped through the doors, we found an untouched palace. Everything the family owned remained. Beds still made, portraits of the owners on the walls, and rifles hanging in the dining room, frozen in time. The rooms were incredibly well preserved, each one telling its own story. Among many items left behind, we found documents that revealed the complete history of the Portuguese Silva family, who once called this palace their home. The family had owned this remarkable place since it was built, their lives closely connected to Portuguese nobility. They had seen centuries of power and influence, but over time their legacy faded, leaving only this home as a reminder of what they once were. Towards the end of our exploration, we stumbled upon a rare find, a library combined with a playroom, truly unique for a Portuguese palace. Stay tuned to see what we discovered.
Welcome back everybody to the Bros of Decay. I am Leslie and today behind the camera we have Mr. Martijn helping me out in Portugal with filming an abandoned place. And this place is just not your ordinary place. We are standing today in a palace that is from the 1600s, a 400-year-old palace that has been abandoned for 30 years and it was of the Silva family. I've just had a look throughout it, I researched the history and I'm truly fascinated by this place. I'm super excited to take you all throughout here and show you all the ins and outs that this place has to offer. Let's waste no time and let's show you one of the most incredible palaces in Portugal. Come with me. This place, as I just said, has been abandoned for 30 years and you can literally see it everywhere. The roof is cracking up, everything is falling apart since the last owner of this place left it behind 30 years ago. And it's absolutely huge and humongous. Like there's rooms everywhere, hallways, rooms, because this place was inhabited over 400 years, but by numerous generations, and all these people, they had a lot of children. Even the last owners, Don and Dona, that lived here, had a lot of children, but we only know some history about one of them. I'll tell you that in a moment, but now we're standing in some sort of a hallway, a very unique hallway. I truly love it. But the thing that stands out the most here is this sort of brick wall. I didn't know what it was at first, but this is actually part of their private chapel. So if I open up this little door here, I don't even know why this door is here, you can have a peek inside the chapel that these people used to pray in. He used to attend God. Wow. There's not much left in there anymore, but once you find a chapel inside an abandoned place, these people must be noble, aristocrats, or just are super wealthy. Otherwise, they would not have a chapel like this. I also love all the artifacts that are still on the wall. This sort of medieval lantern. I think these are prongs to take something out of the fire, but you can see there used to be much more things. Over here we have some shelves where probably a statue would be on, and on this side of the wall we have all these exposed nails, and this was from the time that Don lived here, the father of the family. He was a very devoted art collector and collected so much art, but had to sell it unfortunately around the 1980s because the family got in financial troubles and that was the only way to still make money. Here in the hallway we also have this beautiful bench These divided seat rests, wonderful piece. Very unique hallway. I love this stairway that we have here to the side. It's a bit broken right now. A couple of stairs, Martijn, watch out when you go up. But you can see from all the features inside this house, from the walls, from the stairways, from the ceiling, that this place has been built more than 400 years ago. The electricity has been added on later. Everything is just old and ancient in this place.
Dom Silva, the family patriarch, was a man of refinement and ambition. A lover of art, he adored the palace with sculptures, rare tapestries and paintings collected from across Europe. His wife, Dona Isabella, matched his passion for culture with a heart of philanthropy, founding schools and charities to uplift the local community. Their children grew up in this palace, a place where life was filled with music, literature and the love of their parents. Yet beneath the surface of their opulent lifestyle were pressures to maintain the family's reputation and wealth. By the mid-20th century, the family's influence began to wane. Due to some poor business decisions, Dom Silva lost a significant portion of his fortune. Legal documents we found revealed he became entangled in a failed venture involving speculative investments in colonial trade, a risky gamble on dwindling overseas markets. The palace, once a symbol of their status, fell into disrepair as financial troubles mounted. Eventually, the last of the Silva family departed.
Here we have the first room of the house. A very interesting room as well. And this, I believe, must have been the bedroom of the children. And look at these two beautiful beds that we have over here in the room. This one especially, I really like the headrest over here, the upholstery and the design on there. Nature worked into it. An absolutely beautiful piece. And then over there, that's a very typical Portuguese bed with those spirals going up. Lovely woodwork. Like you would only encounter a bed like this in Portugal. Still made, and perhaps this might have even been the last bed where Antonio slept. Antonio was the son of the family, and Antonio was also the last person living here until 1990. When at a sudden point, due to a lot of problems and family issues, he packed his bags, left this place, and never came back again. And since that time, this place is just deteriorating, falling apart, and pieces are just breaking off. You can see there's even another bed over here, but everything is like literally falling into the basement of this place. Give it like a few more years and this whole room is gonna collapse. It's crazy. Over here in the hallway even, you can see, whoa, everything is literally falling. Even the plants are now growing inside the building, and the whole plasterwork is gone and has fallen on the floor. Yes, there's even mushrooms growing there. It's crazy. Come inside the room, but make some traverses to the side because literally there's a big hole on the floor here. Unfortunately, we cannot get into that basement. There's literally no staircase in the house that leads to the basement, and from the property we can also not get into it. So yeah, that's something we cannot check out, unfortunately. Look at that. Yeah, it's leaking severely. And it's winter time right now, so it's probably gonna get worse and worse and worse now, especially when it gets very cold in Portugal. This used to be a dining space, big dining table, and there's still some interesting artifacts on the dining table even. I believe that what we have here in front of us is a bread toaster. A very old school bread toaster. There we got a cutter, a bread cutter, and then we have the table here in the middle where the whole family came together and had their meals. At a certain point, this family used to be very big because there's so many bedrooms. This place that we still have to show you. Let's see what we have over here. Lovely cabinet, some drinks on top of there. The chairs that used to be around the table and are standing here. Place it back how it used to be. but in general, a beautiful dining space. And also the ceilings in Portugal are always very important to look at. Always made out of wood and in these hexagonal shapes like we see right now. Very typical feature. I almost skip over something in this room. There's these sort of guns hanging here on the wall, but I am not sure if this was a real gun or a toy gun. It looks like this used to be a toy gun. Yeah, probably. Okay, let me hang this back. Oh, I found it. Like that. Wow, that's cool. Okay, let's go into the next room. And I believe we're entering now into the master bedroom of the place. This used to be the room of Dom and Donna, the mother and father of this family. A lovely room with a big bed. And again, you see these spirals here in the headrest. That very typical feature that I just pointed out in the other room. Have a look over here at the ceiling. A green ceiling with a sort of crest worked into it. This might have been the family crest. This family was noble, of course. And once there is a noble family, they always have their own family crest. Possibly because it is in the ceiling right here, that might have been the family crest. Beautiful bedroom. Have to watch out over here as well, because the floor looks pretty soggy over here. But this used to be the desk where Don used to do his work at, where he used to trade the art and buy the art and write letters. I'm curious what that jar over there in the corner contains. I have to have a look at it. There's sort of rocks inside of here. Maybe a small collection of some sort, but I'm not sure. Wow. Oh, and this used to be a safe or something. No, this is a key cabinet. There's a lot of keys still in there. Okay. And here's at this side, we have a painting of a lady. This is definitely one of the art pieces that Don collected. And maybe this is somebody from the family that got painted. It's been painted in Vienna, so in Austria, by J.D. Alvim. So definitely something that Don collected and is still inside the house. Wow, it's just crazy to see that it's standing beneath all the plasterwork that's falling off and all the rubble that's coming down. Such a sad reality. But let me now bring you into one of the coolest rooms inside this house. And that's by far this sort of living room, dining space. It's an absolutely magnificent room. And as you can see, all the paintings, probably from their ancestors, are still hanging on the wall. Every single one of them used to be a noble person and probably part of this family. It's just incredible to think about. It's like you live in this place and you enter into this room, you see all your forefathers and foremothers hanging on the wall. And of course, we can also not ignore the beautiful piano inside this room. See, let's give it. Ooh, yep, that has seen better days. I haven't told you much yet about the wife of Don. The wife of Don used to be Donna, and she married into this family, but already was very rich and aristocratic when they married together. Before 1980, when they had financial troubles, she used to actually do a lot of philanthropy work. I read this online, and together with Don, they did so much cool things. He collected art, she did philanthropy work, so it must have been a very interesting household to be in and to be part of. But yeah, over here in this room, we have to even watch out more because a quarter of the room literally fell down into the basement. It's a beautiful art piece. It's one of the biggest ones in the house. A man standing there with his jacket on, being painted. And they don't have a signature, which means that they probably were made especially for the people in this family. It was just a portrait that they made for themselves. And now that we're standing here, I also want to have a look at the crest above the door. Lions on there, Portuguese. There's a very Portuguese crest, but there's definitely something from a noble descendant or something like that. Here we have the dining table in the middle of the room with a book still lying on top of there, a letter book. Handwritten letters from 1933 in here. This used to be more of a room where the family came together to relax in the evening, play some piano over there and just be together. Beautiful chairs, the faded seat rests, the cushions on top of there. Everything still pristine condition. Let's also have a look at the paintings above here that are slowly fading away. This woman has a very interesting expression. Also show the ceiling. We have the same crest as we saw in the master bedroom. Let's go to the next room. Another incredible room inside this place. And this feels like more of a room that they would use on a regular basis. The other one is more of a room where they occasionally came, but here you can see this feels very cozy and lovely, and where the family actually spent a lot of time. In the middle here we have a sort of small table, a couple of books still left behind that they finished up reading, a box. What's inside the box? Oh, it's sort of a game that I don't know what it is. Okay, if anybody has a clue what kind of game it is with these marble squares and circles, yeah, let me know. I would be very interested to see that. Let's have a look around. There's even a television standing here in the room, in the corner of the room. A very old Philips television standing over here. And the antenna still lying here on top of it. Oh, I love these corner cabinets that we have over here. What do we have still inside of there? Very old books. We have an agricultural book from 1980. That's right when this place got abandoned. So probably Antonio bought this. There's a lot of advertisements in there. Don't know what it is exactly, but very interesting. Oh, right over here on the stand, we have one of the only pictures in this place. Of this picture of this young lady, probably one of the children of Don and Donna. And then over here, if I can put it back properly, it's almost about to fall over. This woman over here might have been Donna back in the time, standing in the garden with some flowers. They had many paintings from their forefathers. It's a very interesting person. As you can see, I love the mustache, but it also has a small crest over there in the corner with a little castle depicted on that. A very typical Portuguese symbol. And probably also somebody noble that lived here, was part of the family. It's crazy to think that we're standing in a place where very important people back in the time came inside and lived in.
Centuries ago, Portugal's noble families lived lives steeped in tradition and opulence, centered around their grand estates. Mornings began with servants preparing fresh bread, fruits and strong coffee, served under gilded chandeliers. Nobles spent their time reviewing finances, hunting in vast forests, or strolling through meticulously kept gardens. Afternoons were devoted to social matters, hosting guests in ornate rooms, discussing politics, or supervising their children's education with private tutors in literature, history, and languages. Evenings brought lavish dinners of local and exotic delicacies, followed by music, dance, or extravagant balls where alliances were formed and legacies strengthened. Amid the grandeur, nobles managed expansive estates, cared for workers, and upheld family traditions, balancing privilege with heavy responsibility.
We have a daytime couch over here, or daytime bed, where the family could come, rest, lay down a little bit from their hard day of doing noble work, whatever noble people do. And even in this room we have a very notable Portuguese tile wall depicting a woman playing the harp. It's wonderful. Santa Cecilia, it says down there. And above there, even more wonderful paintings of their forefathers. So much more things over here. A chest in the window there. This is also a super typical Portuguese chair, a sort of lounge chair. And you see it sometimes in abandoned places and only in Portugal. They have like very unique furniture that is very distinctive to the country. Behind there we have one of the first fireplaces we see in this place. In the other rooms, you haven't seen much fireplaces, many fireplaces, no? Like this is the only one I see. And above here, a wonderful clock. The mechanism, oh my God, I have to be very careful. By just touching it, it falls apart. That's how decayed this place is. Even a couple more pictures left over here to the side of a woman, as you can see. Yeah. Beautiful. Another woman right above there. She resembles the one in the other room we just saw, the very big one, the woman on the side. That might have been Donna, also looks like the photo, and that photograph as well. And I love this couch that we have here besides. It's beautiful with those red cushions. Very cozy, very comfy. And a big mirror above there. Wow, carvings and everything in there. Love it. And here we have yet another picture from 1925. This picture is 100 years old. That's hanging here on the wall. And I think this piece over here, this clock, used to be inside the grandfather's clock that we just saw in the hallway when we started the video. Yet another beautiful painting right above there. And here we see a woman with a child. She looks similar to the one that we just saw, the one from 1925. Okay, let's now go into this section of the house. This is the hallway that leads to all the different bedrooms in this place. There's 3 different rooms in here, and there's one big hallway connecting all of them. As you can see, very literature persons, but there's so many books lying on the ground right now. Even bound up ones. Really love these ones. They're very old books. They're more like sort of magazines from back in the time. And it's something French. It's also written in France. This is from 1808, 200 years old. Crazy. Also some illustrations here on the wall. But right behind it, you can see that the wall is literally crumbling and falling apart. Okay, take you in the first room. Beautiful room. From the children probably, or maybe from one of the grandfathers or grandmothers from this house. Heaven bed, one of my favorite types of beds, and a very typical Portuguese one. With the cloth lying on top of there. The bed still made. I love the ceiling as well. It's completely caving in. It's right about to fall on top of the bed, but still looks in decent shape. And even a small shrine in here with a small statue of a religious figure reading a book. Oh, I love these coat hooks that are like worked into the side of the building here. Even a small painting still standing there. All artifacts left over from Dona's time inside this place. I love this typical hallway here. All these illustrations here on the wall. Fights, sea battles over there. Typical from Portugal, they were people of the sea and they conquered the world. And here we have a depiction of Napoleon, the French king. Love these benches. Okay, let's go over here. We have another bedroom over here. And you really start to see, once you come into this bedroom, that so many people used to live in this place. We already seen 6 or 7 beds right now. Over here in the corner of the room, there's yet another bed. So numerous amount of people lived in this place. And that was very typical back in the time because people, they didn't have anti-conception and they just made children and they all lived in here. I love this bed over here that's still made. Looks like somebody got up there like recently, but it's probably already been not in use for decades now. Another ceiling that is in a bit better shape than the bedroom that we just saw. Okay. Have a look here. These lanterns, they go throughout the entire house. love them. And I think back in the time, they might have been lit up by a candle, but now they're all electric. And here at the end of the hallway, we have another wonderful bedroom. I think this is definitely one of my favorite by the color and everything. It's just beautiful to see. And probably also a bedroom from the children. Two beautiful beds in here. They have some really nice headrests over there. Very typically Portuguese again. Oh, look over here in the corner of the room. There's a horse saddle left behind. Even with these typical shoes that you could put your shoes inside when you were riding the horses. Somebody in this house rode horses back in the time. Lovely. And here on the ceiling, we have yet another crest worked into it. It's just beautiful to see. The bedrooms of this place. There's a couple more things that I have to show you in this house that really define this place. Let's go. As you can see, we are back in the dining area because we're going to yet another section of the place. There's literally doors and rooms everywhere going throughout this house. I should say palace, because it is a palace. It's a complete mansion or palace from these people back in the 1600s. We're coming into a very unique room right now with multiple doors leading everywhere. And this is sort of a middle room where it splits it off in different sections of the house. These rooms are mostly used for storage, as you can see. There's not much in there anymore. But, and that one as well. That one over there, we're gonna come to the end, but first have a look at this middle room over here. There's a couple of tables, chairs and stuff like that left in this room. But also a few pictures still standing here on this table. This is probably Don doing some business, maybe buying some art. Very wonderful. And then over here to this side, we have a beautiful picture of a baby. Very vague, but you can see one of the family members of this noble Portuguese family. Okay, follow me. I have to show you this. This, everybody, was the kitchen of the place. Very vibrant with the yellow walls. Very beautiful kitchen. And even an old retro fridge still standing here. Let's see if there's still something in there. Oof, pretty empty. Yeah. Except for a golf ball and a couple of chess pieces. Probably not complete. Okay. Who puts chess pieces inside of their fridge? Like a golf ball is normal, but chess pieces, come on. Come have a look at the kitchen. 1837. I just got this in my eye. Look at that. That's the age probably from when this building was or restored or added on, or maybe the kitchen itself was renovated and they put 1837 above there. And it's sort of a cooking place that they have over here. Very typical Portuguese. I love all the stonework that has gone into it. Very thick stone pillars right here in the middle of the fireplace. And literally this is where these people would cook fish, meat, all kinds of stuff. And here you can see the fire has coated the wall with ash over the years. Here we're literally standing in the chimney right now. This leads out of the building. Yeah, for years and years and years and decades, these people would cook in here. And I also had a wonderful kitchen area to this side. Look at that. The view you have from this place over the mountains and the rivers in the back while cooking is absolutely wonderful. A big space here with a sink and a marble, completely marble sink. This is also super Portuguese, the curtains underneath there. Bucket still standing here. A jug for water that they could take and bring everywhere. Here we have yet another sink. Probably to wash the dishes with the clock above there. Wow, and a built-in cabinet with plates and pots and everything you can imagine. Still here. Such a lovely place. Let's go into the entrance hall. This was where the people came into the building. You even have a crest here on the ceiling, as you can see. Wow. Here's another room, but this one is completely collapsed. Look at that, the whole ceiling came down. Top of the bench over there. Crazy. That's literally what's going to happen to the entirety of this building. Wow. Okay. There's one more room in this place that I have to show you, and that's this one. And this one is absolutely fantastic. So what's an abandoned palace without a billiards room? It's actually not a billiards room, it's more of a leisure room. And they had this sort of game here in the middle of the room that I have absolutely no clue about what it is. It looks like a billiards table, as you can see. You also play it with a ball like that. And the ball goes into these holes. Makes a lot of noise. And then you would score points and you would put it on the counting board over here. So if anybody knows what this game is, please let us know. And right above there, you also have a sort of medieval chandelier. The walls again are full of illustrations and artworks, as you can see. Pictures to the right side. And over here in the middle, we have a portrait of a man with a mustache, and even more pictures over here. And this room here to this side is one of the only bathrooms, I'm supposed to say, inside this place. Very decayed. But as you can see, this is something that they had built on later. But before that time, there were literally no bathrooms. And when it was built in the 1600s, they probably didn't have a bathroom, so they had to make one afterwards. It's very interesting to see. Look at this. This is sort of a board, completely like it's decorated with all these keys on there. Would hang on the wall somewhere, probably the keys from the house, maybe to the barns. Oh, and over here we have a complete vault with an A to Z combination lock, and this probably, oh, you see people have tried to open it up, but this probably still has valuables or maybe documents from the family inside. Maybe they lost the key, cannot even open it anymore. Another portrait here on the wall. Very important person for the family. As you can see, even more books, a library with hundreds and hundreds of books still left inside of here. Have a look at that. It's absolutely wonderful. I love this one down here. The history of Portugal, it says on there. Gold-plated book, even the crest of Portugal here to the side. Wow. This is probably a very old book. Even has sort of a stamp in there. The library of this, of a village is in there. Wow. Okay, let's place this back. Let's close this up. Beautiful. And over to this side of the room, there's a chest, of course, filled with blankets, an old Portuguese fashion. Let's see, I can place it back. Okay, I truly enjoyed going throughout this house. It's a step back into time for me, a step back into history. And these people, the Silva family, they definitely deserved to have their life documented. I want to thank you all for watching this week's video. It was an incredible place to explore. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, write a nice comment down there. And also check out the first link in the description. That's how you can support the channel and help us go around the world and film these places. Also, big thanks to Martijn behind the camera. His link will also be in the description. And with that all said, I love you very, very much. See you next week, another episode.